Good morning, beautiful people of YouTube. How is everybody? I know I said I was going to be better. I was going to make a bunch more content, and I've been slacking, and I apologize. We will do better. Right now, I've been so crazy busy. I don't even know what to do with myself. I don't even have time to put together a video, let alone do all the editing and all that. I have been nonstop moving around. But today is a special day, so I am going to bring you along for the journey. Today we are adding 2 more dumpsters. I've got 2 more 25-yard cans waiting on a truck at my yard as we speak. I'm about to pull up, offload those cans, and they are basically going straight to a big project that I have been working on. So I'm going to bring you over to the storage yard. We're going to offload some cans, and then I will tell you a cool story about why I bought 2 more 25-yard dumpsters. My 2 new beauties are here. Let's get her offloaded. Is it okay if I flip? One down. There you go. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, you'll probably notice that I put those cans directly in the dirt. Not ideal. Let me just point that out, okay? If you'll see here, when I store my cans here normally, I've got the rollers completely off the ground. I've got the front feet completely off the ground. I try to keep them high and dry is ideal, and I try to put the front a little more angled backward than the back, just so water can flow more freely out of the bin when it rains. These guys, I didn't do that. They aren't going to be here very long. And that leads into our little story. But before I tell my story, you will notice I just loaded up another can. It's also a 25-yard. That one I'm about to go drop on a job. Decided not to drop the brand new cans. He's going to be skid loading some brush. I want to give that paint some time to cure because I'm sure they were painted in the last 48 hours. So I don't want them getting any kind of beat up. All right. Let's get on out of here, close up the yard, and get into story time. So, if you've been following the channel for a while, the very first roll-off trailer and dumpsters that I got, which was 2 years and a couple months ago, Christmas Eve of 2022, offloaded my first trailer and bins. The gentleman that helped me offload it was actually a roofer who was doing a project just down the street that I was putting dumpsters on. Interesting. What are the chances another dumpster is getting semi-truck loaded through here today? That's interesting. Any rate, gentleman that helped me offload it used this telehandler that they were using for a big roofing complex job that they were doing. He was a roofer that had used me a handful of times in the past. They happened to be next to a big parking lot using that telehandler. I contacted him, said, hey, would you mind if I throw you some cash, offload some bins for me? So he said, yeah, no problem. Unfortunately, it was Christmas Eve, which didn't like asking that of him, but you know, it was also a nice little cash bonus for his Christmas Eve, so it worked out all right. At any rate, I had saved them in a pinch a handful of times. I had done one big project with them. He helped me offload the stuff, and then I really hadn't heard from him for about 2 years since then. Now, that's not totally uncommon for me. I do price myself a little bit higher than a lot of the other people in the area. You could definitely get dumpsters for cheaper. So typically with roofers and contractors, they love the service, but they are always looking to save a couple dollars in the budget. And contractors tend to come and go, and you know, like, I do my best to keep them around, but I don't chase the dollar discount to keep them. So not uncommon for a roofer to use me for a little while and then disappear. Fast forward now to about a month ago, I got a call. Had his number still saved. You know, we had a nice conversation. He goes, "Hey, probably don't remember me, but I helped you offload." I said, "Yeah, I remember you. I got your number saved." Which people really love, by the way. That's happened in the last month twice. People from 2+ years ago that booked a dumpster, I call and answer by their name. Yeah, no problem. People love it. So I said, "Yeah, you know, I remember you, not a problem at all. What do you guys need?" He said, "Hey, I've haven't used you in a while, but we did use you on those couple jobs. I really need a dumpster. I had one of my roofing crew guys buy a dump trailer. He's been doing most of our loads, so we haven't needed anybody, but he got pulled over the other day, basically got told that he'd lose his license if he got pulled over again because he was hauling the wrong gross vehicle weight rating trailer. He was overloaded on weight, didn't have a CDL, the whole 9 yards of the under the radar guy hauler." And he said, "I need a dumpster. When can you get it to me? Can you get it to me ASAP?" Not a problem at all. Sent him an invoice, paid immediately, went and dropped a dumpster. He's, "Oh man, you know, you're awesome. I really appreciate it." We kind of caught up a little bit. I said, "Yeah, you know, we had the 6 bins when you helped me offload. Now I've got 20 something bins. You know, you know, you tell me, I'm here to help if you guys need some work done." He goes, "Okay, well, I got another one. If you could help me out, I'm doing tomorrow." So booked another dumpster, dropped that one on time, super happy. He said, "Hey, kind of weird question, but what do you have any like really big dumpsters? What's your biggest size?" I said, "Well, my biggest is 25, but I typically don't use them for roofing." He goes, "Well, this is commercial roofing. I need a big dumpster, Waste Pro, which is franchise, big corporate company. They're dragging heel. They're slowing me down. It's driving me nuts. I can't stand them." I said, "Well, that's fine. I can drop my 25 for a job like that." Agreed to a price, dropped a dumpster, super happy once again. And now he's like getting into the, "You've been awesome. You're really saving my behind. You know, let me line you up with a few more jobs." So in the first week, I want to say we did probably 6 or 7 jobs. He just kept booking them one after another. He put me on a swap on that commercial roof every single day for a week or so. And I'm, you know, every time I'm dropping, Waste Pro bin here, my bin there, and I'm emptying them out every single day. They're emptying theirs out every 2 or 3 days. So now he's at the like, okay, well, you know, this guy's clearly showing that he can help us out and keep up the pace. He calls me up the other day and he goes, "Hey Joe, question for you. How many of those 25-yard bins do you got?" And I said, "Well, I got 2 right now." He goes, "All right, perfect. I'm thinking about firing Waste Pro. I want to have you put both your bins on that job, and every single day for the next probably 4 weeks, I'm going to have you do a swap a day on each bin. Tuesday to Friday, not Monday to Friday, Tuesday to Friday. So 4 days a week for at least 3 weeks, if not 4, maybe 5 weeks. We're going to be doing this condo. I need you like clockwork, 2 bins on the ground. Let's rock and roll." I said, "All right, perfect. I will absolutely do that. Only slight hiccup is I got a booking on the 25-yard this weekend." He said, "Not a problem. We don't work the weekends anyway. Drop it. Just get it back for the next week." And I said, "Okay, are we locked in on this? You know, are we ready to rumble?" He said, "Absolutely." So at this point, I've got 2 bins, 2 of them are going to be tied up for a month. I need to have 25-yard bins for any other project that might come up, which is proven evident as a good call because I got 2 back-to-back bookings, one for today, one for tomorrow on 25-yard bins. Long story short, the second I got off the phone with him, I called down to my buddy Junior over at Evolution Welding. I said, hey, I know this is not ideal. I know you got probably a queue of people that need some help. Can you crank me out 2 25-yard dumpsters yesterday? He said, not a problem. Let's rock and roll. So it took about a week, maybe a week and a half. Yeah, about a week and a half. Cranked me out 2 25-yard bins. I went back to my default green and white. I know you guys, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, have probably seen the white and red. This was a one-off. I was just doing one Florida-themed dumpster just to play around with it, see how I liked it, which I think came out real nice. I'm pretty happy with. So got the 25-yard bins cranked out, ready to go. Those are going to be on a job for at least the next month, and I am hoping we're going to have some jobs lined up behind that. So there is a lot of benefit with keeping good relationships in this industry, especially for people who produce the stuff. That was a bad backup. I wasn't paying attention. Especially for people that produce the stuff that you need and use on a day-to-day basis. Did not want to drop a bunch of money on some bins right now because I still haven't quite hit capacity yet. I did up the number to 20 bins at the end of last year. So I had 20 dumpsters and a dump trailer. Now I have 22 bins and a dump trailer. I think the most I've had out at any one moment was something like 14, which is actually I'm pretty proud of, to be honest. I didn't think I would be even getting up to 14 this quickly. But the reality is I do 2-day turns. So my bins turn really fast. It's hard to have a bunch out at one time. I am kind of stranglehold by my capacity at the moment being a one-person owner-operator. But the other big news, I'm buying a second truck. So it looks like I'm going to be committing to the 2500 class. I'm almost certain at this point that I am going to be upgrading, getting another 2500, taking the Texas Pride trailer and those 6 bins, getting them refreshed, doing, like axle service, probably replace the tarp, get it just nice and shabby. And then from there, selling that all off, getting another Evolution trailer, and running identical setups between 2 2500s. Might do a little tweak on the color scheme. Haven't really decided yet, but we're flirting with some ideas there. But yeah, things are happening at a fast pace, and I'm just trying to keep up as best I can. I am tired. I am exhausted. I have not produced any YouTube content because I have been nonstop. I think we're this close. We're probably not going to do it just because today's the last day of the month. February is a shorter month. If February was a 31-day month, I would have probably broke my all-time revenue record from October during the hurricane, which is mind-blowing because that was the craziest experience of anything I've ever done. And now in a normal month, in a shorter month, in a month that's typically not very busy because we're not quite into the spring rush yet, although February does start to swing up from December, January. I came really, really close to breaking my all-time revenue record. Wouldn't have broke my net record because that number from the hurricane month, I had basically 0 dump fees. So that was a very one-off profitable month. Helped a lot, got to pay down a lot of debt, got to put myself in a very strong position to now add all the bins, get in a good place for a second truck, gained a lot of community support, and we are on the path. We are upward trajectory that I can't even begin to describe. I'm up like 600 or 700% from what I was last year. Last year sucked, mind you, in February, so I'm not bragging too hard on that. But I'm cranking. So I get asked a lot. I'll just throw it out there. This question comes up a lot. What is it that I am doing differently that could help somebody just starting out or someone that's looking for some advice on how to grow their business. The biggest change for me last year was my youngest son finally got slightly older, slightly less dependent on mama, and I was able to get out of the house a lot more. So I went and did a lot more networking groups, met with more people, collaborated with a lot of other businesses. The in-person collaboration, getting to know small businesses in your area, going to chamber meetings, joining BNI, Rotary groups, stuff like that, hugely beneficial. We have a unique one that is local to my area. It's called the Hub. Huge and beneficial to what I've been doing. BNI has been huge and beneficial. I'm not in Rotary, but the second I get a driver in place, I'm going to join a Rotary, or it's like whatever I can do to get in front of more businesses and business people, I'm doing. And then the second thing is approach every relationship in a way of how can you help the other person, not how can they help you. Because if you start liking other people's posts, sharing other people's posts, commenting on their posts, recommending them to people, they are going to be on fire for helping you. So get out there, build relationships, and push really hard to recommend and develop other people's businesses, people that do good business, and it will come back tenfold. I joined a BNI in May. I joined the Hub in August. I got incredibly lucky, developed some relationships really quickly just before the hurricane hit at the end of September. And my golly gee whiz, those two groups pushed me so hard through the hurricane, just because everyone that I knew had someone that they knew that's house flooded out, probably 10 people that flooded out. And I became the person that they could trust to help and not screw people over. I also, I was conflicted about it at the time, but I'm super happy that I did what I did. I was the only person who went down in price during the hurricane that I know of. There was not one person. Now, they might have been cheap to begin with and stayed cheap, but there's not one person that I know that rather than increasing pricing, actually decreased pricing in an effort to help the most people that they could. I heard every excuse in the world. You're getting more nails and tires. It's, more difficult to get through the roads. The dumps are taking longer to dump. Every single person that I talked to, well, not every. Let me back up. There's probably some people that didn't raise pricing, but all the people that I talked to were looking to ways to make the most money possible. I took a different approach and I said, how can I help the most people as possible? And I did everything in my power to save them money, to do things at the lowest cost, and to get people back up on their feet. And those two things, both developing the relationships and then working honest with integrity, were monumental to what I'm doing. I've done more in the first 2 months of this year than I did in the first 6 months of last year. My last 6 months in business right now is almost to what my last year was completely. So, needless to say, I am also cautious in my approach on how I'm growing, because I don't want to get above my skis, think that now I've reached this new level and it can't fall out from underneath me, because it can. But at the same time, I need to be aggressive and attack while the iron is hot. So I am doing everything in my power to get out of this driver's seat, get someone in a position where I can start running the business rather than maintaining the business. And then from here, hopefully I can develop an actual growth where I am not the sole thing that everything is dependent on, because that is a terrible spot to be in. It is very detrimental to your ability to scale. And the second that I can get out of this seat, get someone in this place, I might make less money, but I will have an infinitely better life, as well as infinitely better potential for growth in the future. So I appreciate it if you made it this far. I know I ramble a lot in these videos, but people really love it. So I hope that was the case. Best of luck to everybody out there. Go out there and crush it. I hope to make more videos soon, but I figured I'd at least do it for today and give everybody the opportunity to see what's going on, because it is awesome out here. Have a good one, everybody.